I do like a stun on position 5 here, but I feel like it's not super important given the fact you're playing against like Axe and AA. They can't maneuver around the team fight super easily. Maybe if you're playing against a Spirit Hero, it'll be a little bit of an issue, but uh, you do have a couple more picks available. A minute and a half reserve time left here on Simply 2 based. You probably want a little bit of backline jump here to deal with the Ancient Apparition, right? I'd like to see a Spirit Hero picked up. I know Annihilate's decent on Storm and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. Storm and Ember are definitely comfort picks for him.
Hmm.
I would imagine they would try and pick the 5 here, right, and save the last pick of this phase for their core.
Radiant must choose.
Yeah, the
What is
Oracle.
the Oracle you're talking
It's
about?
just too good. It's too good of an Oracle game.
Mm-hmm. And you're too good of an analyst here, Ricky. You're
I'm not
taking
even an
my job.
analyst. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm a
The
big
man,
real life potato, mediocre gamer at best.
the man can do it all. Everybody, can we give it up for Ricky, production god, because he changed Jerry into a desk analyst, play-by-play caster.
Ember Spirit.
Is a Spirit Hero for Infamous. That one's probably going to be alone. I know he does like that hero.
It's looking like a good Storm game here.
Mhm.
Actually, it's really not a good Storm game. You have Searing Chains into Arrow and now Axe Call into Arrow. It's a good lane, right? Storm Spirit into the Ember Spirit, but you do worry that you're kind of getting baited into like trying to win the lane matchup and then just getting caught constantly in the mid game.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Dragon Knight picked up here. I know it's very boring, but picked up for either the off lane or the safe lane or mid lane. Dragon Knight does feel good.
God damn, look at us, neph.
It's almost like everybody picks Dragon Knight right now.
Don't sell yourself short, buddy. Don't do that to yourself. That was a good call.
It's almost like everyone picks that hero. Wow, this guy's good. Sniping picks, no big deal. Anyways, back on topic here. Last couple of bans coming out, they don't really have any breaks to worry about either because Viper had been banned out and they took the hoodwink for themselves. I don't imagine they'll take Doom or Shadow Demon is another one. Although Shadow Demon could be a good pick for. No, you can't pick Shadow Demon here on Simply 2 based. And Infamous would have to run this Mirana as a core, the Ancient Apparition as a core, if they wanted to pick Shadow Demon on their side. So they basically don't have breaks to worry about here.
They do ban the Gyro, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That was the other thing we were talking about. One of the other big counters to the Luna has been the Gyrocopter, so they banned that one out. What's the last carry here that you're worried about?
I guess you can deal with the Phantom Lancer fairly easily. Troll is basically a dead hero. I don't know what I am worried about here. I suppose Juggernaut wouldn't be too bad.
What about a Ricky? Is that hero
Awful
just trash?
hero. Awful hero.
Is that hero just too bad at Dota?
Awful hero. Terrible caster.
God damn it.
I don't know what you're thinking even bringing Ricky up here. We could do without, thank you.
Okay, my apologies. Oh, the Spectre. Yeah, I forgot the hero is still available. That's an obvious ban, actually, when you have the Oracle. There's the Storm Spirit ban, so even though they have the lockdown for the Storm, it's, I guess they want to protect that lane matchup. The Dragon Knight can definitely just flex to the off lane, and this will be King RD's hero, but it looks like they're looking for I Annihilate. At least Infamous thinks they're looking for I Annihilate in the mid lane here.
I think they need more damage. Storm Spirit and Leshrac both would have filled that purpose. They're definitely lacking that at the moment. I mean, Shadow Fiend is a hero in Dota 2.
No, he's not. No, he's not, Neph. Don't make things up. He's not a hero. That guy didn't get packed for the last... That hero didn't get picked like the last 2 tournaments, I'm pretty sure.
When I think I Annihilate, I think all these like absolute classics. I think the Storm Spirit and the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, and him like outplaying his opponents. Right?
Yeah.
He's been around forever, and he's always done that.
Yeah.
So even though Shadow Fiend isn't really a hero, when I think I Annihilate, I'm like, yeah, you might pick that one up, even though it's like not good in competitive play. I feel.
Yeah. They end up grabbing the Sand King. I like this. It is a lot of damage. Great catch from the offlane too. Can definitely help find that ancient apparition.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Sand King is played in the mid lane once in a while too. It is a South American special.
It is. You think
but it'll
Annihilate
probably-
wants it over DK?
No,
Into the Ember?
no, but it's possible.
Okay.
Let's rule this one out here.
All right. Safe
You're
lane
laughing
carry
now.
options
I'm
here.
gonna laugh at you if it happens.
No,
okay?
no, I
That's only
think it
fair.
is doable. I think it's doable. Safe lane carry here. What do they got? Faceless Void. Okay.
I mean, that's your setup for the Ice Blast on Ancient Apparition, but I feel like he doesn't pair so well with the rest of the lineup.
All right. We finally seen all of the picks lock in here, and it is going to be the Dragon Knight picked up in the mid lane, going up against Alone on the Ember Spirit. Now, this is a lane that's kind of interesting because Ember Spirit just maxes Flame Guard, and Dragon Knight just never cares. So once he has 2 points in Dragon's Blood, the eventual third point, he just takes your tower at level 6. He'll just go 1-1-3. Pretty easy stuff there. But this will be a fun one. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've got decent tools to answer some of these heroes on both sides. You have massive lockdown between Dragon Knight, Sand King, and Hoodwink. You have ways of dealing with the Dragon Knights, like tankiness and HP regeneration on Ancient Apparition. You're always going to be able to take a good team fight with an Ice Blast and a Faceless Void ultimate as well. So this game could honestly go either way. I favor TOOBASED because I'm a biased caster.
Nice.
I'm also a big KXY Faker fan. I had them as my favorites on Infamous to win the international qualifiers, and they didn't end up doing it. But Faker is not here today, so he can't help them. Alone's pretty good as well, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say Alone, you know, can try and hold us all mid lane here against Ionite. We'll see how that goes.
He's actually one of the youngest professional players as well. I'm not sure if you know that.
I did
believe
not.
He's like 16 or 17 years old.
That is, yeah, that would make sense then. Jeez.
Even a master falters.
Very talented kid.
Prepare yourselves for the main event.
Tip comes out from King RD. Excited to see what King RD is going to do as replacement for Monkeys Forever. I wonder where Monkeys Forever is, though. Somebody mentioned that he wasn't streaming so much lately.
Yeah, he's been kind of taking a hiatus from Dota from what I've seen. I have not seen him on Dota as much either.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Once TI qualifiers are done, everybody kind of steps away. Then TI rolls around, your excitement builds back up, and then the cycle continues.
Nice little bushwhack there onto the Ember. They just get a quick D ward.
Just as I envisaged.
The 5 more focused on getting the ward than he was the hero there. It's
He
100
actually
gold,
might
though.
just deny his own ward.
Thinking about it.
Just 30 seconds now.
But you have to go pretty far out of your way to even grab that ward with the heroes on the Radiant side. So they're playing right beside it here. They know that the Ancient Apparition's got a sentry. They're probably going to walk over here and try to grab it so we can get a kill off of them if that's what they go for. Come on, give them the high five in the air. What a BM gamer.
Looks like they're going to be able to pressure for the top one, completely shoving them out. Jube will be able to get the bottom. Actually just wraps around, yoinks it from underneath the Faceless Void. Okay, end up trading 2 for 2 for the runes. No bloodbath like we saw in our earlier series here at level 1.
That's the ping advantage there, though. I'm sure Lumiere would have outclicked Jube here if they were playing on Peru servers. Right.
Yeah. We'll see. Mid lane, though, I Annihilate here on the DK. Just going to have the Dragon Tail level 1. Ooh, he actually dropped aggro, so he's not going to get that level, that real quick deny off like you try to.
Yep, he got a little bit of damage off onto Alone here, but he's taking a little bit himself in return. He's that Flame Guard shoving the wave in.
Have been denied.
It's a little bit annoying. I think if you level 1, you go Breathe Fire, you can end up just dispelling the Flame Guard. So it might have been worth it to go that first point into that, but you do have a bit more kill potential, and like a rare opportunity, you can set up a kill on Ember Spirit here with the Dragon Tail.
Wow, I Annihilate is just getting worked in this mid lane. 4 and 4 here on the Ember.
Yeah, this man has not been
Oh my goodness.
6 and 5 to 2 and 1.
Even a master.
All right.
This is supposed to be a DK favored matchup too.
Well, I did say this kid's good. All right. He gets one of the denies off at the start. I mean, he'll manage to turn things around. The one thing about I Annihilate, you know, he's been around the block. This ain't his first rodeo. Man's cool, calm, and collected. He will recover.
I think that's a different player. I don't think he goes by that name anymore, though. I believe that's called Quinn.
Right.
Let's talk about this off lane. Mr. King RD here on the Sand King going up against a Faceless Void. Jubei rotates bottom, grabs one of the runes. I Annihilate. Obviously on the DK you don't really go for the runes all too much unless it's just a freebie, so he's just going to continue to try and farm up the mid lane. Starting to even out that CS though.
Unfortunately missed some
nice arrow here on top lane onto Imperium.
The 5 doesn't care about such things. He doesn't really want to go any points into Fate's Edict here, though, in this lane. I mean, it'll stop a lot of the magic damage coming out from Mirana, but a lot of what you're taking is pure damage from the axe committing onto you, so you'll have a little bit of kill potential once these... Unlucky. You have a little bit of kill potential once these two heroes hit level 3 on the Oracle and the Luna, thanks to 2 points in the Lunar Blessing and a lot of magic damage coming from Purifying Flames and Fortune's End.
Turning my attention back to the mid lane. I want to see, you know, who's gonna actually start to pull ahead here.
My gratitude.
How's he doing for himself now? Has the situation improved at all? Or it has a little bit.
Definitely, yeah. He's gotten a decent amount of denies now, which is like, you know, the expectation when you're playing the DK in the mid lane, especially against a melee hero.
No.
Oof.
He's getting decent harass off, and just be a little bit careful to dive the tower. He uses the Breathe Fire level 1 here, but he's already got 2 points in the Flame Guard, so he's not going to be able to break it with that anymore.
Still reducing the damage though, which is important, so he's able to just secure these last hits under his own tower. Oh, Michael able to find first blood onto Boris in the top lane, and Imperium's actually caught by Battle Hunger, so he's gonna have to kind of just regen underneath his own tower. But a 1-for-1 trade, very nice.
Yep. He'll probably pop the Salve after he's done here. Made a rotation there on Jubei, trying to grab these water runes, but unfortunately, Alone is going to be able to grab the top one.
He did get a nice ward sentry place right on the high ground there, though. So that was like the main idea, I think. Bottom lane, a kill onto King RD. Very nice. All right, Jubei just going to throw a little bit of harassment, though.
Did not catch you littering, bro.
The tips begin. Neph, we're in a... We've got a lot of tips today.
We're in exactly the kind of game that I love being in. I like still struggling a little bit. He's even things out a little bit. We're now 17-8 to the 19-7. I mean, it is a Dragon Knight favored lane. He did get absolutely clowned on at the start of this, though. End up losing
Luna
Boris
again
there.
in the top lane.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how this happens. Like, did he just... I saw his health bar just
got
absolutely
taunted into
plummet.
Arrow. Yeah, he got taunted into Arrow, and you can't really save him there with Empyrean. You're just not reducing any of the damage with the Fate's Edict. Which is unfortunate.
Caught you in your studies, did we?
I Annihilate starting to put the pressure on down here or in the mid lane. Now hitting level 6. Catapults spawned in as well. I imagine Michael's going to rotate the mid lane to try to clear out the catapult. You don't want to deal with the catapult plus Elder Dragon form at the same time.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It can be a huge problem. And there it is exactly.
There it is.
Yeah, good call, Neff.
He'll make his way back up into his jungle there. He's got out the bounty rune here for Alone. It's almost 6 minutes, so he'll probably pick up 2 while he's over here. And stack some camps. Let's go.
Oh, that is not stonks. Should have waited 5 seconds.
Unlucky. What can you do?
Jubei's going to find a haste rune. They go ahead and drop that dragon form. Do they have the damage for this? No way, right? Yeah, he's able to barely make it to the other side, but Imperium with a TP, the 5, snagging that kill there on Alone.
Man's just there with the prediction plays. He knows exactly where he needs to be. Now, Jubei playing behind the tower here. If he could find Michael, that'd be big, but he just missed him. He was sitting behind the tree there.
Bounty.
You're gonna snag the bounty rune though. He's looking to make the great escape. He might catch out Michael here. In fact, he will.
Ever seen someone
It's the
bleed
first
out?
stun, but Annihilate can't line up that Dragon Tail. It looks like Alone's gonna come over here.
Let's have Ancient Apparition who's going to help chase him down. Arrow comes through, just barely misses, but a good Dragon Tail setup. They have Bushwhack in 1 second. If Alone goes down again, his game is looking really rough, and they do get the Bushwhack. Alone's ticking down. He doesn't get the bottle to top him off, and 2 deaths in a row now on this mid lane. Ember Spirit is a big deal.
Absolutely bodied Annihilate the first 2 waves, but again, man looks to turn it around. A couple rotation in the mid lane, 2 deaths now on the Ember Spirit. Take a look at the net worths now. 700 gold behind this Dragon Knight. I mean, that's what we expected going into this lane, but we didn't expect it to go like this.
Yeah, I knew Dragon Knight would come out of this lane ahead, but
We didn't think it would start. so
yeah,
heavily in
it
the
started
Ember Spirit's
real
favor.
rough. First 2 waves were pretty strong in favor of the Ember there.
Yeah, all of this will make some space for Boris, by the way, who had a rough start of this game sitting 0-2. But you give Luna an inch and she'll take a mile.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday,
just-
right, with the Io Luna combo where she went from like 6th on net worth to 1st in 2 minutes.
Yep. Well, though, very big here on Sacred. I mean, he's got his Vanguard already. He's like 1,200 gold, or sorry, 1,300 gold away from his Blink Dagger now. At only 8 minutes into the game, and Luna about to have her stack stolen. Oh, sorry, these aren't Luna stacks. These are Axis stacks.
So Boris is like, please, sir, go away.
I'm so poor.
Oh, Arrow does connect. Jubei with the rest of the team, though, might be able to stop this aggression. They do. TP, or Dragon Fort rather, comes out, hits him with that stun, but Sacred is just too tanky. The backside of the fight, Boris able to take down this Mirana. They're also going to find the Ancient Apparition. They've come in just a little bit too far. These 3 points in Purifying Flames absolutely shredded the side of Infamous. Like, most of the damage coming out here was from Oracle, I think. Yeah, Oracle and Dragon Knight.
Yeah, Oracle almost shredded down Boris there, dropping into almost no HP. But thankfully, Boris didn't hit the creep camp right away, and he heals back up. Made a small mistake there as he's throwing a couple Purifying Flames off onto him. So now, all of a sudden, things starting to go the way of simply 2-base, and the laning phase hasn't really ended yet. We're only at 9 minutes, and we've seen the game take a complete turn.
Look to their middle tower. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now Alone is probably going to look for some kills to recover. But Flame Guard, Sleight of Fist, no points in his Searing Chain. Makes it a little bit difficult to catch heroes out. The bottom lane we haven't touched base on at all, I don't feel like.
Yeah, they just managed to leave King RD down here for a little while. He has the Vanguard. He's able to just kind of chill. He's actually TPing top lane, wants to be the one. Yeah, he wants to be able to keep his towers alive, right? Like, Axe is applying a lot of pressure top. You know you're going to have the Luna in the jungle, so this is where he's going to remain for the, probably the foreseeable future, I would guess.
Yeah. Next 5 minutes or something like that, he'll just chill over here. Oh. You can look at Dragon Knight. He's actually working on a Hooded Defiance. He's going to be incredibly tanky. There's a lot of magic damage coming out from the enemies. I mean, you're mainly concerned about the Ancient Apparition and Ember Spirit pumping out magic damage onto you at this point in the game. You've got enough armor that you don't need to worry about physical. And, you know, Luna, Sand King, able to pump out damage on your own, so it's not like you need a bunch of items for your team.
Actually looking to go in onto the triangle here. Annihilate does have an Arcane Rune and Dragon Form available. They want to just snipe these stacks, so they're going to take down the Ancient Apparition first. King RD, 4 points in the Sandstorm. He's going to be able to do a lot of work here. If they don't get inside the Sandstorm to stop him, these are all dead. On the backside, they do get the call here onto Imperium, but he just gets level 6 on the Oracle. He's got that ultimate available. The Chrono does come through. Sharpshooter being channeled. Can he keep the Oracle alive for now? Imperium finally gets the False Promise off. And what a disaster here for the side of Infamous. This is the simply 2-base triangle now. Neph, how many times have we seen this happen?
Oh, what? That
Doesn't
looked like it
hit
landed on
Oracle.
Imperium on my screen.
Just off the mark.
Unfortunate. I mean, I'm not sure it would have killed him anyways. He would have been able to Fate's Edict himself to save himself just a little bit off of that one. But yeah, these invasions of the enemies like stacks here. I feel like you see this time and time again. You don't really have the ability to move all the heroes over the map and defend before the enemies can clear that stuff out. So you just end up losing, you know, your hard-earned stack that you spent so much time pouring into.
I mean, the thing is too is they don't really have stacks in their own jungle. A lot of the time, like the ancients were rewarded. They've got, you know, this hard camp stacked, but Luna has not really been able to farm any stacks of her own. So being able to snipe the enemy teams, Infamous not gonna be able to pull a head off of that, which is, you know, quite good for Simply Two-based.
Radiant's bottom tower is in
Looking at interrupting this Luna's gameplay a little bit more, though. Michael heading towards the bottom lane, faces Void, playing somewhat close to it, so already backing off in the triangle.
bottom tower is under attack.
Looks like King RD's making the call for them to go into that bottom tier 1 tower, though. Draws the line.
They do need to be applying pressure for sure, right? Like the Luna definitely just wants to play triangle and like bot lane, like you should play close to her tower if possible. Just keep farming. She's gonna pull further ahead of this Faceless Void just because Faceless Void is not a hero that farms exceptionally well. He does have a Maelstrom though.
The map is pretty dark right now for Infamous, so they're a little bit hesitant to commit on anybody. If you look, they're all playing fairly close together.
And mid lane,
Axe will be able to turn
Annihilate's
this one
just
around. He's got a
whittling
blink.
down the tower. Moonlight Shadow comes out though. He's gonna respect it and back off. Sacred does have that blink dagger. They haven't quite seen it yet on the side of Simply Two-based.
Yeah, he didn't want to jump onto the Dragon Knight at the start of that one. He's like the tankiest hero on the enemy team, so he hesitated. He's got a Hood of Defiance as well, but by the time he decided he wanted to jump on him, started running forward, it was already too late. Annihilated, backed off just a little bit, and now they'll run forward. They have vision of the majority of these heroes. They can see Axe over by the bottom lane and the Mirana beside it, so they know it's safe to take this tier 1 tower right now.
They're all actually smoked up behind Annihilate here, and he's going to just slowly work on this. One more auto attack. He's got it. Finally taking down the mid tower, but there's the blink. The Burrow Strike comes out. The chains not going to be there, as Alone will be able to make it out in time.
Can't get your tower, though. That's a good vision there by the Dire side, just knowing that the Axe was positioned over there.
You should know about a ward here as well now.
All right, now they're looking to clear out their own jungle. They realize that they probably had vision of the Axe, otherwise they wouldn't have gone for that tier 1 tower. Void is farming the opposite side of the map, and he's going to take this tier 1 pretty uncontested, but
Radiant's
in return, they'll go up to tier 1 of the bottom lane, probably. Yeah.
fortified their
Not really worth jumping down to the bottom lane and committing a chrono onto the Dragon Knight for that.
Yeah, you don't
Same
kill the
thing, grid it
Dragon
up.
Knight here either. He's got a lot of health. Hood of Defiance completed, the Bracer. Right, like this guy is not too worried. You even have the Hoodwink sitting behind him. So I'm not sure what you'd have to commit to try and take down that DK, but it might be all 5 heroes at the moment.
It's definitely a lot. It's not as easy as it was for Alone at the start of the game, that's for sure. And all this is giving Luna a chance to farm up, almost matching the Axe. Yeah, just passing the Axe's net worth and now catching up to the Void as well, so making a solid recovery. It is a little... You can only farm like the safest parts of the map right now in Luna. You don't have enough HP to work with here. When you're worried about an Axe jumping on you with Call and Ice Blast coming out, like they have so much jump here on Infamous. And Boris feels something is amiss, and he's absolutely right.
Hiding behind the tier 2 tower, you cannot blame him. It's just going to be Imperium, the 5, eating the gank there for his team. That's what you do on an Oracle.
Yeah. So instead, doesn't want to try to walk around and get past the enemy team. We'll see TP to the mid tier 1 tower, and he'll start farming up the triangle instead. His jungle's no longer safe.
Time is money.
No, finally establishing a little bit of aggressive vision here. The map has been pretty dark for the last couple of minutes on Infamous.
Yeah, they do have a lot to work with in this dire jungle now. Actually, like there is a ward up here, but they don't have Ancient Apparition's not going to check it. Oh, maybe he will now. He will not. He'll figure it out eventually. King RD underneath a ward currently behind this tier 2 tower. They see pretty much everything that's happening here on the side of Infamous, so Sleight of Fist there to kind of let them know. And on the backside, a great chrono onto 3. Jubei here gets the Sharpshooter into the Faceless Void. That's going to break him, and maybe they can bring down that Empyrean. They finally do, but in comes the rest of Simply Two-Base as they take down the Faceless Void, and now Sacred on the run. Burrow Strike not quite available. Annihilate as well as Boris rotating in on the right side of the fight here, but they don't have any stuns up quite yet. Annihilate also went for the Sange as opposed to going for an early Blink Dagger.
Illusion.
Interesting choice. I mean, status resistance is going to be pretty big. You eat an arrow, you eat searing chains or something like that. But a lot of time, you want to just build the BKB or Blink Dagger BKB after your first initial items here on the Dragon Knight. They do have decent jump with the Sand King, Blink Dagger Burrow Strike, and you're going to be able to get on top of the hero a lot of the time with the DK afterwards. And they have like that Faces Void ended up eating 3 stuns right away. Got hit with the Burrow Strike, Dragon Tail, and then Bushwhack, just completely melted. So they're not having any issues getting on top of these heroes and getting the stuns off yet. So I feel like his choice isn't awful.
Yeah, I like it.
That's what comes in.
Yeah, but also reduces the duration of the Ice Blast.
Bottom lane, lots of pings coming out here. They're gonna find Sacred here. They're gonna get the nice Burrow Strike initiation. There's the Eclipse. Sacred's just gonna go down. Ice Blast comes through, doesn't hit onto anyone. Simply TOOBASED pretty happy with that pickoff.
Yep, and they'll try to take more off of this probably. I mean, they've got a bunch of heroes sitting beside a Luna. This Lunar Blessing's gonna do work to this tier 2 tower. Oh, but they're finding the Mirana.
She does have 2 more leaps available, but King RD just continuing the chase. Bushwhack comes through, holding him down. They get the kill.
Didn't want to commit any more leaps there.
I think he just was trying to bait them in behind the tower and was not expecting that Bushwhack instead.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. You always be careful in the trees up against the Hoodwink. She's got free reign there.
Tier 2 falls bottom at 18 minutes, opening up that outpost. Pretty good timings for Simply TOOBASED, honestly.
Regain that with advantage now. Luna getting chained up here.
I think she's too worried. I Annihilate comes in on the backside. Dust doesn't actually catch the Ancient Apparition, so they drop a sentry instead. Ice Blast comes through and he finds Boris. He does need to be a little bit careful here. He cannot afford to go down, and alone just got a Remnant over. So, oh my gosh, the save from Imperial and the false promise there to keep him alive. And now backside, a snipe from Jube.
You're better off dead.
They take down 2.
Managed to turn that one around. Boar Daddy just
oh, they're going in for more. Epicenter after the Burrow Strike, holding Sacred in place. They just take 3 in the long run, and they're on your high ground. You got a Chrono left, but can you stop this? Are they gonna? Okay, it looks like they're gonna respect it and just back off.
Yeah, the respawn timers are pretty low on these heroes. It's only 19 minutes in. They're pretty under-leveled, so you'd be able to Chrono get an Ice Blast off on a multiple. They're not looking to throw this game here, but getting a little bit based there with that dive.
Scanning for enemies.
You managed to have about a 5k gold lead so far. Luna now top of the net worth chart. Gonna go BKB if I had to guess. Faceless Void is doing really well. Sanjin Yasha, the Maelstrom, going for an Eye of Scotty is the next pickup there. Ooh, King RD walks right back into an arrow. With damage here from the Ember, they should be able to pick him off, and they do. Sacred jumps in for that Culling Blade.
No, ends up going down there. I got distracted by an update on the patch, by the way. For anyone just watching, they just posted a news entry on the Dota 2 website. They said that they're working on it.
I'm sorry, what?
They said they're working on it.
I mean, imposed to they haven't been working on it? Like, what else would they be doing?
They're working on it.
Uh-huh, I see. Makes a lot of sense. Mid lane, I Annihilate here.
Mate.
Just gonna back off. He's just gonna go BKB. He's pretty close too. Blink, Dragon Tail would be a nice way to start the fight, but all of Infamous are just off on the side here. It'd be pretty difficult to dive that far, I think.
All right, jumping down onto the low ground here. Into the Faces Void. He's working on the Eye of Scotty. I mean, it'll prevent a lot of the hero killing if you don't manage to connect that Ice Blast, and it'll give him, I guess, a lot more bulk. He's getting bursted. Well, a lot of times he's getting bursted down in these team fights, right? He's not able to enter because of the amount of chain stun that they have. So his Sanjin Yasha wasn't enough with his status resistance, so the extra HP he'll have from the Eye of Scotty will probably give him enough health to survive. If you can time walk off the majority of the damage out of the stuns, then Infamous have a pretty good shot at winning these next team fights.
I'm actually seeing an Aghanim's being built here on Michael's Marana, which is surprising. It's not an item we see all that often. The thing that's nice about it is it does give you vision along the arrow's path, which is pretty sick. Ooh, blink, burrow strike in the mid lane into a Dragon Tail, a sharpshooter from downtown. Great pickoffs here from Simply TOOBASED. They managed to shut down that Faceless Void. They are under the cover of Moonlight Shadow here, so you do need to be a little bit careful of that one. But I Annihilate sitting very far up, tanking pretty much everything for his team if he needs. Grab another tier 2 tower in the process.
You have no right.
Cleaned up now. Everybody's gonna walk away. DD rune spawn on the bottom side of the river. I imagine they'll just use this opportunity to walk right into Roche, right? It is pretty scary doing this against Axe, Faceless Void, and Ancient Apparition, but Faceless Void is down for 18 seconds now.
They actually
They're gonna
smoke
try
with
to
the DD
walk back in the
instead.
triangle.
Yeah,
If
they want to
can
find a kill.
Sacred.
It's a big one if they get the axe. There's the Dragon Tail to follow up. They got another sharpshooter, but they don't even need it. And now with Axe being dead and a DD on the Luna, Roshan is a definite possibility.
It's a lot safer to grab that now. Axe doesn't have buyback available either. Absolutely based, Boris. You'll love to see it. I mean, the blast comes out onto Roshan, but I Annihilate, he doesn't even care. He's going to continue to tank this one up. Don't want to waste the duration of this DD rune. Instead, they'll try to grab Roshan before the Axe respawns. Faceless Void does have a decent shot at contesting this, I feel, though.
I mean, if Faceless Void time walks in, he's going to die. That's the problem, right? He can't time walk aggressively against this team because he's not going to kill either of these two heroes in the pit with a chrono.
Yeah. I don't know, fair enough. I guess they ran the numbers on Infamous. They decided neph was wrong. We would have just died. We're not looking to hemorrhage any more kills than we already had. The 7-16 score at the moment. They'll give the Aegis to Dragonite, and that'll allow him to just, I think, aggressively sit on the high ground and click your tower. Speaking of, there's only 2 outer towers left for them to take down in the bottom lane. I imagine they'll just start their march, the very slow march down to the tier 3 top.
They're going to go ahead and call bottom lane here on the Sand King. Oh, that is a quick kill. Nice pick off there from Sacred. I think Simply TOOBASED just didn't expect them to be bottom on that many heroes. Like, they're already showing top. So Infamous know that that's a pretty safe play for them.
Yep. So, about 1,000 net worth swing, almost 2k XP off of that kill, though. What's a win probability looking like here? Got 89% probability for the Dire here, Ricky.
It's a high percentage.
11% for the reader, yeah. So Simply TOOBASED absolutely rolling it. 7k net worth and 10,000 XP. They're looking to take more though. No,
They really want Oracle, and they're going to be able to hit him with the Ice Blast. He's got a False Promise to save himself, but doesn't want to commit it. Sacred comes in, gets a call. They catch the Luna. She's got the Aegis. He has to buy back here on this Oracle. The question is, can they make it in time? I Annihilate. Blink up in a couple seconds. Settling for the Ancient Apparition is not really what you want to do. You'll take the kill for sure, but you gotta get more. Able to blink out TP on Axe. Pretty big play there from the side of Infamous, getting both Aegis and the buyback off the Oracle.
Oracle, I guess, I don't think they ever planned on staying in that and taking that fight. I mean, Oracle didn't have the TP anyway, so he wasn't able to get to the 2 tower and get over to that fight quickly. It felt like a little bit of a waste to me, but I think they'll use this opportunity to continue to push forward here. They didn't commit any super big cooldowns on the Radiant side, though. They still got Chronosphere available in Faceless Void, and he's getting close for this Eye of Scotty. They're making some smarter plays now on Infamous. I think they're realizing they can't just smash their heads into Simply TOOBASED anymore and win the fights. They've got to split them up. They're doing a pretty good job doing so, predicting where they're playing. But the map being fairly dark for them, too.
Yeah, we're going to go up the Shard here on Luna. He does have the money for it. I'm wondering if he's debating on finishing the Daedalus first. But either way, Boris, once he has that Shard, is so strong. We've seen it over and over again, just how much work that Shard does. You are going late game into a Faceless Void, though, so I'm really curious, like, if TOOBASED is going to start making any major like plays here soon, because they got to be worried about a late game Faceless Void. Let's see.
They're gonna hold the triangle for now. It looks like.
Tower is under attack.
Late game Faceless Void is incredibly scary though. In the end, the time man wins. Eventually, he gets like refresher or refresher shard, and you're playing a Luna who kind of falls off as the game goes on. You don't have the BKB, or sorry, the Aegis anymore, so you don't have that same level of ability to pressure the high ground. But this is going to be the last outer tower. At the very least, you can box the enemy team into their base.
I'm gonna go ahead and TP a lot of people bottom as they find Sacred here on King RD. Bushwhack to set it up. Why not? They bring the cavalry. All 5 here on Simply TOOBASED show up for this one. Now they're looking for more in the triangle. Michael here, hiding up on the high ground, still protected by the Moonlight Shadow. He will TP out.
I'm very hyped, or I very much like what Lumiere did there. It just cleared out the Ancients, despite the fact that it's actually getting blown up there. It just robs the little bit of farm away from the enemy team at the 27-minute mark as well. So that many less neutral items they have to work with.
Speaking of neutral items, there's going to be a Paladin Sword.
Mm-hmm. Have they found any yet on Dire? Am I crazy? I don't think they have. Wait, did they lose the...
No, they have done no tier 3s. They will find a Mindbreaker right now.
Oh no, they left the Quickening Charm at the Ancients.
Ooh, that is awkward. That's going to be a nice one for whoever wants it.
Arcane power.
That's an item you would love to have on an Ember Spirit too.
Mirana found it. Mirana's got it.
Oh my...
Wait, no. Oh yeah, they think they sent it back to base?
Oh, okay, yeah, it must have been sent back.
Yeah, they picked it up with the courier and then sent it back to base.
Very well played. Nicely done.
I just about missed that. I was like, yeah, I got 2 neutral items from that, but where's the Quickening Charm? Alright. So, putting the pressure on a little bit more. They still have Chronosphere to work with here. I have Scotty's completed on the Faceless Void as well. It's going to be pretty hard to break him down. He's got Titan Sliver, Sanjin Yasha, and Eye of Scotty. He's pretty tanky. He's got a lot of status resistance now.
And he's going for the Shard too, which will give him a little bit more mobility in these fights.
Yep.
Dragon Knight, level 18, does have the blue dragon. Blink Dragon Tail comes out right onto the Faceless Void. He is alone though. They pop the BKB for this. The rest of the teams, they've got to find something. They get the Burrow Strike there onto the Ember, but the follow-up, there's nothing happening. Dragon Tail finally comes through. He's got to try and save his Ember Spirit, but he just dies. They're looking for something else on the backside. Faceless Void time walks away instead. Blink, Dragon Tail up in just a few seconds, but they're now going to tunnel down the Axe. Imperium, though, taking a lot of damage, gets sniped by an arrow. They lose 2, but you get an Oracle instead.
So in that play there, I Annihilate, he ended up initiating onto the Faceless Void, hit him with the stun, then auto-attacked him a few times. He turned around and hit the Axe once, but it hit him with the Corrosive Breath. So it disabled his Blink Dagger for like a full 8 seconds, and he wasn't able to come in and help Alone like I think Alone was expecting there. So taking advantage of that dot there on the Elder Dragon form by I Annihilate was a huge play. It stopped the Axe coming into that fight properly. Danny is an absolute gamer.
He is indeed.
Let's give it up for I Annihilate. What a guy.
Oh, Enchanted Quiver. That's... Wait, Luna's not going to take it. She does have BKB, gets Searing Chains up there by Alone, but not too worried. Second force staff from Jubei, just to be sure. I'm surprised. I really expected Luna to take it, especially with like the Lucent Beam spam.
Horus doesn't need that kind of advantage.
Who's taking it?
Oh.
Oh, Dragon Knight. Okay.
It's pretty good on him. It improves his damage quite a bit because he's not getting that many. Oh no! I just TP out, please. Wait, no, they've got.
He gets found. They got everyone coming in. They get the stun on the backside. Find the Ember Spirit. The Chrono, it only finds Hoodwink. That's not ideal. Question is, can he get out now? He's got plenty of HP. Boris caught on the backside with a nice call. His BKB already spent. He's got to get saved here, but there's no Oracle. He's walking from the base. Boris, he needs help, but it's not in time. I Annihilate, though, maybe going to finish off the Ember. He does indeed. King RD able to blink himself to safety. A 1-for-1 there, but a 2-for-1. They get the buyback on Jubei.
That looked like such an awkward start of the fight, but Empyrean just wasn't in position to take that one and save Boris. I mean, you had the Chronosphere come out and did just the hoodwink, and honestly, it felt pretty awful, but Sand King couldn't really get on top of anybody. Luna was blown up pretty quickly after getting the Eclipse and like loosened beams off. Oracle not really part of things. Was just forced to TP out.
Yeah, if Oracle is there, that fight is very different. I think Empyrean had just TP'd to the base.
Yeah, he
as
did.
that
He
fight
did.
had broke
TP'd
out,
on
so he
cooldown
was
as
just
he
like
broke it.
running from Fountain.
Yeah.
Things looking pretty good so far. XP and gold stabilizing a little bit here for the side of Infamous. Still an 82% win chance here for the sign of Simply Two-Based, it seems. King RD does pick up a gem, has that Aeon disc completed. Decided to use that in the last fight.
Now to start shoving out lanes here. Aeon disc pickup. I mean, I'm not. That item is going to be nerfed when we see the patch, right?
I think it gets removed, honestly.
Removed.
I think it'll be removed. I don't think it's gonna
You
get
got
nerfed.
that-
I'm pretty sure Aeon disc will not be in the game in the next major update.
You've got such strong opinions on things. You're like, yeah, it's too strong. Get rid of it. We're not gonna nerf it. Just get it out of
it's
here.
gone,
Not
dude.
my game.
I think it's gone. I think it might be replaced with a or like completely they're either gonna rework the item completely or it's gonna get removed. I think.
Somebody steals from Ricky. Yeah, just kill him.
Soak up here
mercy.
on the side of Two-Based. They gotta push in this top wave. They need to get this last tier 2 outer tower. I annihilate mid lane. Pretty dang strong now as he has that Aghanim Scepter completed, so the Black Dragon is now online. And he does have that Enchanted Quiver. I'm not a big fan of the Bloodthorn pickup that he has queued.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
You know, sometimes. Oh no.
Going in aggressive here. Blink call from Sacred. He finds the Luna. She pops the BKB, trying to just disengage. They've got to be careful. They don't have detection. Finally, he walks on the backside. They find the Mirana. They find the Faceless Void. Yule's going to be able to just throw him up and disrupt everything, but they've lost the Oracle. These fights just all over the place. Is now I Annihilate in trouble as well. Another Bro Strike to the backside, but they got to try and keep the DK alive, but he's just being tanked down. Just too much damage from the Faceless Void. You finally get the call on the backside, but a buyback here on Oracle will save Luna. In comes the Chronosphere, though. Can they actually keep him alive? The disarm is there, but no, it's not enough. She bursts. It's falling apart here for the side of Simply Two-Based. Is now Hoodwink in trouble, getting chased down by the Ember Spear on the top side of the fight. They're also going to lose King RD. Jubei will finally survive, but it is a costly defense here. And not even lose Imperium. The body blocks from this Faceless Void. He's got him.
No.
Level 25 Faceless Void. Now, remember we said the Time Man eventually wins?
Yeah.
Oh, he
this
just
is where
also
the
snipes a
Time Man
courier.
wins.
Structures are fortified.
The 20% backtrack now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tried to throw the sharpshooter out onto the Faceless Void. It wasn't going to end up connecting, I don't think. But this game, all of a sudden, very even. What was like almost a 10k net worth and almost 15k XP advantage for Simply Two-Based. Now is evened out completely, and now win probability 54% for the Radiant.
Yep. Yep. It's looking really rough for Two-Based here. Like, they pretty much squandered their entire lead in these two fights. And at this point, Luna is not going to be strong enough to solo carry this game.
Mighty Roshan in his pit.
That's Aegis Cheese and Aghanim Shard here. Who are they going to pass? I guess the Ember Spirit is going to take the Shard.
Oh, he already has
Wait, no,
Shard.
he already got it.
I guess they're going to give it to... Oh, Sacred doesn't have
Axe.
Shard. Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Don't mind if I Scooby-Dooby-Doo right now.
Yeah. The classic saying. Game all of a sudden started to look a little bit difficult for Two-Base. You didn't want to ever take this game that late. I think one of the major things that turned this around was the amazing fight they took on Infamous when they put the first Aegis here on Two-Base. I feel bad for all the suckers 5 minutes ago who thought that Infamous were going to win it, or lose this pretty handily.
Yeah, this
The
is
game
looking
has,
very good for Infamous at this point. Like, they have managed to completely recover. Mid lane, Call comes out from the Axe, pulling him further and further away from his team. Imperium hiding in the trees, but Alone is going to try and scout him out here. Does get him the slight chains on the mark, jumps forward. Now, that is a dead Oracle, and that is a dieback, and they can continue the chase here onto this Dragon Knight. They get 2 completely uncontested in the mid lane.
I'm not sure what they do from here. I think they could just walk up the high ground. You don't have to buyback on the Dragon Knight after this one. They don't know that on Infamous. They probably assume that, yeah, he didn't pop the other Dragon form in the BKB as he went down because he's just going to buy back in the game. But you have no reason not to pressure here, and they're going to figure out the DK doesn't have buyback pretty quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, they're trying to cut lanes. Luna is pushing in bottom. She's knocking on the tier 3 herself. Fortification is still available. King RD behind her. I'm sorry, what?
They're going to try to get over here. All right, nice dodge here.
Call comes out into the Eclipse. Sacred pops the BKB. He will be able to survive. Ice Blast does not connect. King RD in trouble, though. They've got to get the Luna out, and it's not going to happen. They commit heavily for her, punishing this overstep. They get themselves another kill. They keep their barracks alive, but it's a heavy cost.
You almost turn that one around to kill the Axe, but you just don't have enough damage at this point. He's got a lot of armor to work with. Phase boots, plate mail, blade mail that he's sitting on. He said you did manage to keep that Rax there. Hopefully they didn't realize they didn't have that buyback there on the DK. One thing that Luna is very good at is, like, the moment she gets into your base, she takes towers faster than anyone else. Which she was going to do there if they didn't get back. So Chronosphere is committed. You could take a fight here if you buy back on the Luna, but that would put you pretty far behind. You want to be able to finish this Daedalus so you can pump out more damage. You still got Epicenter here on the Sand King, though. He didn't commit it in that last fight.
Oh, the Blink Call comes out. Nice Burrow Strike there to make a little bit of space for I Annihilate, but he's about to get hit by an Ice Blast. Trying to make it back to the base. Good disarm there from Imperium. He's going to have to false promise himself. He doesn't even get it off in time, and now they're in so much trouble. Just sitting right outside the fountain. The DK will stun up. Sand King holding the Burrow Strike and the Epicenter. He's got Aegis still. You can't overcommit for just the Faceless Void.
It looked like he was getting ready to Epicenter Burrow Strike onto the 2 of them there, but again with...
He's gonna go mid, find the Mirana, getting at least some kills. Sacred Force to BKB. I Annihilate here on the Black Dragon. Pretty tanky. There's gonna be the Aeon to save there. Can they actually bring down the Faceless Void? The chance is pretty low, I think. Maybe you get his first life. They toss him the cheese. He goes back in. Ice Blast on the backside, but in comes Boris.
Here.
You gotta be careful. BKB still up here for the Faceless Void. Mirana bought back for this. She can't afford to go down either. Looking for more. Sharpshooter coming through. Does not connect.
Oh,
it's getting tense.
There. I mean, the Aegis on this. Oh,
he finds Ancient Apparition. Annihilate's got a blink as well, and that is going to be a really dead support. Arrow comes through. He still
eventually.
dies. Yeah, he'll eventually die.
Wait, are they gonna lose? No.
Nah, he'd have to take more damage here.
Yeah, Empyrean's here with the saves anyways. Unless Empyrean kills him with the false Purifying Flame. It's a fun fact. You can deny an ally and get credit for it if you use Purifying Flames and bring them below Ice Blast threshold.
That's epic.
Yeah.
You would know this, Neph. You're so toxic.
Yeah, I've done it before. To a player I used to coach. I did it to Jay.
Of course. Yes. Classic.
Shout out to otters.j. He had to suffer through the pains of improvement. Back on topic of the game, though. A nice defense there. Everyone was getting pretty tense. If the fight goes slightly wrong for you, you just end up losing the game completely. The Aegis of the Immortal on the face of Void makes it way too difficult to jump onto. I don't like the fact that they picked up the Spell Prism on the Void, by the way. I would prefer to see the Titan Sliver on him. I think the status resistance to the magic resistance is super important here.
I mean, he has a Satanic now. I don't know if he really has to worry about dying. I think the biggest thing is just making sure his chrono is up as much as possible. But, I mean, if you're an Ember, you're really sad about not having a Spell Prism. Did you find an Illusionist Cape, though? Looks like he still doesn't want that. Daedalus finished up here on Boris. Does have a Minotaur Horn. Take a look at these jungle items. Still missing one. Find a Trickster's Cloak here on this. Dragon Knight is quite nice. That evasion is going to pay dividends for sure. Looking for more, trying to chase into the base. Burrow Strike comes through, just trying to hold Faceless Void in place for the time being. But he is really far forward by himself, so doesn't want to overcommit.
Boris doesn't want to commit too hard for that one either. He's 70 gold away from buyback. If he gets caught out there, then they just end up losing the game. Just needs to clear out a couple creeps. Or actually, I think it's safe gold he needs. Yeah. He needs to get an assist on a kill. Gonna try to commit onto this Faceless Void here. I mean, let's see if not having that extra stash is going to bite him. It doesn't.
The Mirana arrow is so good at scouting. Like, you just throw the arrow through trees and it just starstorms everything. They jump into the backside. Maybe they can bring down Mirana once again. Bushwhack comes through. The damage, it's there. They snipe him. Alone, however, jumping onto the back end, trying to find the DK. That's not the hero you want to go on. Ice Blast comes through. Does clip a few of them. The rest of Infamous trying to just disengage as that Mirana is on dieback now for 100 seconds.
Yeah. DK isn't going to be able to find anything off of this one either, unfortunately. His Blink Dagger disabled because of that Ice Blast, so he's not going anywhere. He's still going for this Bloodthorn that you mentioned, though. I mean, it'll kind of help for the Ember Spirit, but the Ember Spirit also has a Black King Bar.
Everyone has a BKB.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe they're just praying that they can do enough damage to his Faceless Void that he ends up going down while he's like chain stunned here. Because they've got no way to deal with that one. I mean,
yeah, I imagine that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, that has to be his line of thought here. I'm just like trying to get into this man's head.
DK also loves attack speed is the thing too, and it does give a lot of attack speed. But you also have to wonder, like, why would you not just go for like Assault Cuirass or something?
Yeah. I don't know. There's definitely method behind this madness. I think that they do have potential to blow up the Faceless Void with this one. And, you know, the Faceless Void is like the most important target to bring down in these fights now. Like, the only target you need to really worry about, I feel.
You have the level 25 talent on Luna, and she ends up going for the 30% lifesteal talent. Even up against Ancient Apparition, it's kind of odd. Well, a little bit of weirdness happening over in the triangle, but they will find Imperium, and he doesn't have really anything to keep himself alive. And he can false promise himself, but that's a dead Oracle. Does have buyback. He will go ahead and use that right away. King RD in some trouble. Boris, you're up on the high ground trying to scout them out, but they're not going to find it. It's just a fake axe. Maybe they can bring down the Faceless Void, but he gets the BKB off. Now Annihilate needs to be careful. Chrono holding down Mr. King RD, and they finally lose Imperium. That's going to be a dieback, and they get the Sand King as well. Looking for more. Boris on the backside has to pop the BKB. Maybe he can turn this around onto the Faceless Void, but he's got a Satanic still. Boris forced the BKB. No Dragon Tail for a few seconds. In comes that silence. Can they bring him down? They get the silence, but the Dragon Tail, can they get the kill? He's not. Time walks forward. He gets them. Nothing you could do. The Faceless Void is too strong. Buys back here on Boris. In comes the epicenter, but he just time walks away. Ice Blast really off the mark. Can they get Sand King down to 20 HP? He shatters as Michael jumps forward, and now Faceless Void up on the high ground still. Just not caring. Time walking through all of this damage.
Pull down on Time Walk solo, 3.3 seconds. They just can't get their hands on this Faceless Void to finish him off. Annihilate is trying to walk up the high. He went too far on Lumina.
He went too far.
He might pay for this one.
The Dragon Nail. Can they get the finish? But it's not in time. He gets the save thanks to Axe. And now Boris getting ran down as well. Everyone on Simply 2 base crumbling here, and this might be the end of the game as 4 heroes dead without buyback right on the high ground. And there's the GG as Infamous will take game number 1.
It was looking like an unlosable game for 2base, but some very sick predictions of where the enemies were going to be and pickoff managed to keep them in the game just long enough for the Faceless Void to come online. Infamous showing up today. I mean, ended up popping off at the start of the game. Went the way of 2base, but they managed to bring it back.
That was one heck of a game. I will say, like, looking at the graph here, this is unreal. That one big fight, you can see just on the win probability graph there how much that swung back in just a minute or two. But I mean, a great performance here on the Faceless Void, going 9-2 and 16. But Simply 2base, I mean, they just really struggled to find any of these kills onto the Faceless Void going in the late game. I'm just still not really sold on this Orchid. Like, even when the BKB was done on the Faceless Void, he just had Satanic, so he just purges that off and didn't really seem to do a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, he's really hoping they'd have enough burst damage to finish off the Faceless Void, but they couldn't quite do it. The status reasons that he had at the end ended up being just enough, and I guess the cooldown reduction that he had from the Spell Prism ended up assisting as well, being able to time walk off so much damage in these team fights, which you could have seen how much he healed with that throughout this game, because it would look like a lot at the end, the last couple of team fights. Just could not do anything about him, but Infamous, despite the fact they have a lone standing in for KXY, they're looking like they're in good form.
Absolutely. They played really well, and honestly, Simply TOOBASED played well. You know, they didn't complete, like, I would say maybe just a couple of decisions in that mid game might have cost them, but so their team fighting just seems a little bit rough. But overall, like, the draft wasn't bad. They executed well in lanes. If they can pull together in the fights, you know, they might be able to take game number 2. But Infamous, like you said, in good form, looking really solid. And I mean, there's not much else to say. I mean, it was just a really fun game 1 of the series.
There's one thing to say. We actually got an update here. I believe the what happened was there is a battle level update, and you can get extra levels for your Nemestis thing at the moment.
Weird. Okay, great. Thanks, Valve. We'll take a look at that one in just a moment. But
meaning we have to restart our client, so we might have a little bit more of a delay before the next match because of that one.
And while we're at it, we might as well talk about one other thing, which is our beautiful sponsor of the LootBet Pro Series 7. It's LootBet, believe it or not. Who would have guessed, Neff? For those of you who don't know, you can get a 100% bonus on your deposit for new users up to 200 euros with the code PRO. So definitely head on over to lootbet. There's a banner down below. You can also go to bts.gg/lootbet to take a look at that. So big thank you to them. We appreciate y'all. But we're going to be going to a small break. Like Nev said, we have to update clients and stuff before we go into game number 2 here between Infamous and TOOBASED. But stay tuned, everyone. We'll see you in just a bit.